Hi everyone, it's Heidi from HB Paper Crafts. Taking a second to get loaded to Facebook. As always, the lag is about 8 seconds on Facebook, so it takes me a minute to make sure we're A, in the right spot, and B, going live where everybody can see me. Looks like we're there. Hi Shelly! So as always, I'm just going to take a few minutes and chat about some upcoming things while we wait for people to find me in their news feeds before we create. So I hope you've been having you have had a great week since I saw you last week. I hope it's warm wherever you are, because it's certainly not here in northern New Hampshire. We've been going through a super cold snap here, as it's been below zero quite often. So a couple of just housekeeping things that I wanted to mention. First, there was an announcement about the January Paper Pumpkin. So those of you that are Paper Pumpkin subscribers, our quality team identified an issue with the adhesive dots that are in the January Paper Pumpkin kits. So they've included additional quality inspected adhesives with each kit to replace the defective ones. So if you have some that are not working, try the others that are in the kit and you should have better success. But I didn't want anybody to get frustrated with those because they do know that that one set in there is not good. I have a promotion going on right now. I want to tell you about it. So I have the Painted Poppies stamp set, which we have used, and I'll pull that out actually, which we have used in a live here. This is the Painted Poppies stamp set. Right now, if you purchase the Painted Poppies stamp set using the host code here, I'm actually going to send you a class in the mail. So you're going to get the kits to make all of these supplies. I have a little box here. We have just a regular happy birthday card, and then also we have a fun fold card, and I've left the sentiment option up to you, so it has no sentiment in there. But I'm going to supply all the items to create these pieces. You'll just need ink, the stamps, and adhesives, but everything else is going to come to you cut and scored. But you must use this host code and order the Painted Poppy set, and I'll send that to you in the mail. Let's see. So we do know that now is the celebration time. So for every $50 you spend, you get to choose a free item from the celebration flyer. And they will be announcing some new celebration items at some point soon. I do know that in February they're going to be launching some coordination products, which are essentially some dies that actually cut out some of the products that are in the current celebration flyer. So look forward to that. I do have a catalog kickoff event coming February 1st. For those of you who plan to be here in person, you're going to want to RSVP. Lots of fun stuff planned, some games, some prizes, door prizes, and of course creating. Also, everybody that puts in a $50 order using the host code, even if you're not able to make it to the event, if you use the host code and put in a $50 order, you're going to get entered into the drawing. And I'm going to be giving away a little ladybug stamp set. So if you put in your $50 order using this host code, you could possibly earn this one for free. Now this set is one that you can only get by hosting a $300 event or putting in a $300 order. So it's kind of a really good deal. So anyway, I'm going to throw that out there as well. You have an opportunity to earn that. Let's see, what else was on my list to just chat about you. So Celebration is also a great time to sign up as a demo with Stampin' Up. The kit is $99, and it's always $99, and you always get $125 of product of your choice any time of the year. During Celebration, however, you get to choose $125 in product as you normally would, but you also are going to be getting a free mini paper trimmer. You get a free sampling of all the new DSPs, so the Designer Series paper. It's going to come in a 6x6 size. you get a free stamp set, actually, of your choice. So I've been recommending anybody who is interested in purchasing this starter kit for $99, pick the most expensive one off your wish list. So that's another great incentive. And then you also get a free paper pumpkin kit when you sign up. So all total, it'll be about $229 for your $99 investment. So anyway, there's no commitment of any kind. You can sign up just for the discount. You initially get 20% off any of your orders. Or you can decide, hey, you think you want to do something with this with your friends, or you can show them what Stampin' Up! Is all about, or you could get right into it and book all kinds of events. The choice is really up to you. Either way, you join a great team. We have we get together monthly to talk about Stampin' Up!, create and inspire each other. But there is, again, no commitment. With the $99 you still get all that stuff. There is no commitment. So you don't have to sell Stampin' Up! To take advantage of that $99 offer during celebration. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start creating. Hi, Angela. So tonight I have a project that is actually featuring the Forever Blossoms stamp set. This one and the coordinating designer series paper. So this is some specialty designer series paper, and what makes it specialty, oh, I can't get a hold of it, and what makes it specialty is that, if you can see, I know it's hard to see in my lighting, it's horrible, that some of it has some foiling on it. So there's some that has silver foiling, and then there's some that has champagne foiling in it. So it's really pretty paper. It coordinates with Petal Pink, Pool Party, Cherry Cobbler, and then of course Basic Black and Whisper White. So these items can be actually found on page 15 and 16 of the January to June mini catalog. The piece that I'm going to use is this piece right here. It has some Eiffel Towers and some cherry blossoms on the back of it. You can see these are silver foiled, but we're going to use the other side to create our little project here. So this is the little bag that we're going to create this evening. And it's actually a good size little bag. Right now all I have is just a little, well, it's not little, but pretty good size package of these M&Ms here. But you could fit other things obviously in this little bag. It's quite a good size. And then I used ribbon to tie it up. And it makes a cute little just giveaway. So the sentiment I put on the front, geez Louise, the sentiment that I put on the front says, "You mean so much to me." So you could use that for all kinds of different reasons. You could also switch it up and use a different sentiment. This one happens to come in this Forever Blossoms stamp set. And it's a really pretty stamp set. You can do all kinds of different things, and I've seen people use it all different colors with this set. So there we go. I struggle with that ribbon a little bit. You're welcome to. Glad you had to watch that whole thing, huh? All right, so we are going to start with a piece of that designer series paper that measures 6 by 10.5. I cut a Whisper White oval out of our stitched shaped dies. So this one has ovals, circles, and then it also has a set of squares as well. And they have the stitching all around the outside of the die cut. And then I have a piece of Whisper White that is 3/8. Nope, excuse me. Yes, I was right. 3/8 by 3 inches. So I just like the shape that matched that sentiment. You could, of course, do it a more standard size if you wished, but this is what I used for this one. Okay, so first we're going to score our designer series paper. I'm going to take out my scoreboard here. And I'm going to score on the short side. I'm going to score at 1 1/4. So this 1 1/4 score mark is going to be the bottom of our box. So if the pattern of your paper matters, so you want it to go up and down, this side over here is going to be the bottom of your box, because we're going to score it to do the bottom at 1 1/4. And when you're doing designer series paper, when you're scoring designer series paper, you want to use a bit lighter of a hand than you do when you're using cardstock, because it will tear through the paper and then your folds will just tear on you. So you have to be a little more light-handed. So then on the long side, we're going to score at 2. We're going to score at 5. We're going to score at 7. And we're going to score at 10. We'll slide that guy away and grab my snips. So it's a little bit hard to see the score lines on the designer series paper, especially when you're filming, but there's a little tab here that we're actually just going to cut away. We don't need that one. And then, as I've shown you before, I like to cut when I'm making boxes, just cut these at a little angle. It just makes it easier when you go to put it together. You don't have anything sticking out where you don't want it. So I notched those out, and then we're going to cut up each of these tabs at the bottom to that 1 1/4 score inch line that we created. So this is a super simple little box, and because it's 6 by 10 1/2, you could actually get 2 out of a piece of designer series paper. Most of our paper is 12 by 12, so get my bone folder, and we're going to burnish all of those score lines that we just created. Has anyone else been freaking out about it? My goodness, words are hard tonight, I guess. Has anyone else been freaking out about their furnace constantly running this past week? Oh my goodness, mine hasn't stopped. It's been going and going. Okay, so then we're going to use our liquid glue. And we're going to glue on this tab first. And this actually will fold right over, and it should match up flush so that when you glue, the edges meet. And then to do the bottom, I'm going to fold in each of the little sides. And I like to determine what's going to be the back of my box. So this edge where I glued it together, I want that towards the back so that when you're looking at the front, you don't see that edge. Not that it makes a big difference, I just happen to like that. So in that case, I want the flap that goes on the front to do the same. So I'm going to glue this flap down onto this one. And because this doesn't go the whole length of the box, I'm only going to hit just the very end of this with the liquid glue. Well, in theory, that's what I'm going to do. There we go. And then we're going to fold that onto itself and square it up. Hold it for a second, then turn it the other way around. And I'm going to use my bone folder to just press it all down in there. Alright, so then we have a very simple little bag. And all we do to create the top is we're just going to push in the top right here and fold them towards each other, just like that. And that's our little bag. So to get you can do a couple of different things to close it. We have the library clips, and you could just clip it on the top like this, like you've seen me do before, and just tie the ribbon on the clip. Or what I did for this one is I actually took my hole punch. I'm going to punch through all of those layers. And you could get real precise and you could measure. I did not. I'm just eyeballing it. then your closure. I'm going to use the Crushed Curry seam binding ribbon that I love so much. And I'm just going to take off a length of it. And I'm going to push my holes together and I'm going to thread it through. So it's going to go through to the back and then back through towards the front. And we want them sort of even. And then just tie a bow. Having something in your bag when you go to do this would help, because it helps hold the sides of your bags a little bit firmer. Hopefully I'm not out of frame there. There we go. Alright, this little ribbon's just going to do its own thing. So, alright, so there we go. So there's our little bag there. Now we're going to move on to stamp the tag. So we're going to take out that oval. And I have, this is the basic gray ink. That's what I chose to stamp my flowers in. So I'm going to stamp these little cherry blossoms. Actually, let me get myself a piece of scrap paper, because we're going to come, as you can see, the stamp is bigger than the oval, so we're going to come off the edges a little bit. So there we go. How pretty is that, huh? And then while we have the basic gray ink out, I'm going to use the little 3/8 by 3 inches scrap here that we have, and I'm going to stamp the "You Mean So Much to Me." Hopefully my head is not in the frame, but we're just going to stamp that right there. This almost looks like it was hand drawn with some pencils. It's one of those distinctive stamps. It's really pretty. Alright, so for the "You Mean So Much to Me," all I did was I flagged the ends. So cut up the center a little bit and then cut from each side to that center point. That's kind of gives you a good even flag on each end. So just cut up the center and then from each end to that center cut. And there you go. There's that little tag. Alright, so to color this guy, I'm actually going to use, these are our blender pens. So if you haven't used them before and you want to ease into coloring, these are a great investment. This is Crushed Curry ink. And you want to have a piece of scrap around. So what these blender pens do is it actually just picks up some ink and you can color with it, and then you clean it off and you can use a different color ink. So I'm going to use the Crushed Curry, and I just sort of wanted it in the centers and a little bit of shadowing. I didn't color the whole flower. You certainly could, but I just did the centers a little bit darker and then fanned out so it was a little bit lighter on my flowers. And I just gave them a little bit of hint towards the center with the yellow. And go around and do all of them the same way. And I did these little buds at the top as well. Alright, so there we go. So there's just a little bit of the yellow color in the flowers themselves. So I'm going to clean my blender pen off. Hi, Kathy. And I'm going to take, this is the Pear Pizzazz ink. So again, I cleaned my blender pen off so I can actually go right into the next color ink. And I can do the same and use the green to color my leaves. Now I didn't, again, color them totally. I just sort of liked the little hint of color on the flowers and on the leaves. I didn't want to color them in completely, but you certainly could. I just used the areas that were already shaded, that looked like they were shaded in the stamp, and I added some color to that. If you get too much color, all you have to do is clean off your blender pen, and it'll give you a lighter color, less ink to color with. Alright, so that's easy. Quick and simple coloring. Those are done. And then to adhere it to my bag, all I did was take some dimensionals. So I'm going to take 2 dimensionals and I'm going to adhere them. I'm not going to go right up to the top because, as you can see, this box has a bend in it. So you don't want to plaster it right to the bag. I just sort of let it free form, and I did them towards the center. And again, this bag is a little more misshapen because it doesn't have anything in it, but we'll go ahead and we will decide where we want our oval, and we'll glue it down like so. And I'm going to take this ribbon, I'm going to wrestle this ribbon here tonight. So I probably took a little bit too much. I don't really need that much ribbon. Got a little over zealous with this ribbon that I love so much. And I can trim it off a little bit here. And then I'm going to hit just the center of this little tag. Hi, Georgia! I'm going to hit the little center. The little center. Time to take out a new ink. Glue. I am all kinds of mixed up tonight. Wow. Alright, and so this guy just goes right across the bottom of the oval on the bag, like that. And again, I like to use the liquid adhesive because I know that it's going to stay. And this bag is a little wonky because it's got nothing in it, but there we have it. So there's our cute little project using the Forever Blossoms stamp set. I really like the stamp set. There's all kinds of pretty things I've seen done with it, all kinds of different colors. You don't necessarily have to stick to the cherry blossom color. You can do your own thing, which is cool. So I hope you guys like this little project this evening, and I hope you recreate it with all kinds of, I know we all have paper hanging around, that's for sure. So I hope you recreate it and give it away. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great night. Bye-bye.